Hi, day 7 of 100 Days of Making Comics. I'm Jamie Gamble. MonkeyPipeStudios.com is my website. I'm also on Patreon, and I blog at jamiegamble.com. I managed to finish off the bridge script this morning, so that's great. I was checking over it, and in terms of final scripts, finished scripts, I consider my finished scripts the fully written out ones, and then I consider the dialogue to be like a separate post-production thing almost. Once the artwork's done, I go over before it goes to the letterer and give it a once over to make sure it works. So I'm going to do read-throughs for the rest of them, as I've said before, for the rest of the week. But I have a 12-issue run of Hero Code done now, so including the bridge script. And I have a couple of floating scripts, which are stories that I've written down to be put in somewhere later down the line once I've worked out what the next arc is going to be. So rewrites to be done. One of the things I want to talk about very briefly is I'm finishing work, another 12-hour day. I have a pretty good day job. It's long hours, it pays well, it looks after the family, which is my main concern. 2 kids, wife, and house, mortgage, and pays all of that stuff. And then I consider comic book making to be kind of a hobby in a lot of ways. I don't feel like I'm making them for anyone in particular. There are people that do read the books that I produce, which is fantastic. I'm always so incredibly grateful for that. But I am, for the most part, making them for myself, making them as a release too. Because I do work long hours, and I live in a foreign country, and everyone needs a release. So they're kind of my hobby, and but I do pay people that I work with. There's a couple of friends who I collaborate with that I don't pay, and the reason that is, I think, is because we're going on the journey together. But for people who are collaborating with me that I don't consider to be going on the journey, or that sounds wrong, but the people who are doing the work, I'm paying them because they're putting in the time to work on the books, and I'm happy to do that. I'm happy to produce that. But one of the side effects of that is that I worked on a budget, and sometimes I want to do more than I can. And it's tough. It's tough to remember that I have that budget and that I shouldn't run too far. And again, going back to competing with the big boys, they have production budgets, printing budgets, advertising revenue, etc., etc. And I'm just an independent comic book maker, and I don't have that stuff. And sometimes it takes me longer to produce something, but hopefully it's worthwhile. And it's good to try and remember that for myself, and hopefully other people out there that do this stuff can remember that there isn't a deadline, that independent comic books have a certain freedom from deadlines and from the monthly expectation. The stories can be freer and the schedules can be freer, and I need to remember that sometimes. So this is good to do the 100 days stuff, just because it's always nice to get ahead and plan and plot and write these scripts. But me saying I have 12 scripts completed, I'm still working on issue 3, so it takes time, and hopefully I remember not to get too greedy and take my time. Day 7, and this is me out. I will see you tomorrow.